Hi. Whoa. Hey.
No, you're on my side.
Huh?
You're on my side. Don't act like I scared you. You're on my side.
But why am I?
Why are you over here?
Why am I on your side?
Because today we have our first guest.
We have our very first guest. It's really weird being over here. I feel like that old couple, like Cracker Barrel. They're same side.
Cracker Barrel.
Same side in it today.
You don't like to same side it with me?
It's kind of weird. I like to eat, with freedom. Anyway, we have a.
Are you a caged animal now that you're on the same side as me?
Yeah, I guess so. I feel a little chained in.
Well, you are. So we have our first guest today.
Our first very cool guest. And not only a guest, we have like the coolest guest ever.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, how are we going to top this? Welcome to the podcast, PEREZ Hilton.
PEREZ Hilton.
What?
Thank you for coming.
God. I am so happy to be here.
Yeah,
it's been a while since we've seen each other.
Yes, it has been
probably
years.
like a decade or longer.
Actually longer, because my son is 15 now.
Oh my goodness.
And I feel like he was maybe 1 or 2 when the last time we saw each other.
Wow.
It was during Holly's World?
Yeah.
That's when you
You were in absent.
Yes. And then Peep Show. Yep.
Yeah.
That's where we met.
Yeah.
Dude, everything.
And now I'm in Vegas, and I live here full time. I love it.
So that actually was my first question. Do you care if I
No, please.
What brought you to Vegas?
The pandemic and my therapist.
Oh, I love that.
Well, I actually wanted to move here, or not move, but at least buy a house here in 2018. I think I knew I wanted to move here then, but I was afraid to.
Yeah.
So in the back of my mind, it's like, well, let me just buy a house there, and I'll spend all the summers there and Christmas breaks and spring breaks and everything. I'll spend 4 months out of the year in Vegas. But
Yeah.
I did my research, and I found out, at least back in 2018, that it's illegal to do short-term rentals because I wanted to Airbnb out the place.
Oh.
Everybody still does it.
Yeah.
But I knew that if I would buy a house and Airbnb it, I would get ratted out.
Right.
Oh, PEREZ Hilton is doing an illegal Airbnb.
And you're like, it would happen.
I didn't want to risk it, but I was here in 2018 for the summer doing Chippendales.
Oh, that's
And
right. I forgot about that.
Getting to be here for 2 months, I really loved the city and lived like a local and explored so much. And just like the little things like, wow, I can be done with work and be at my house in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a game changer.
It's the little things.
You mean as
It's a
opposed,
huge thing.
as opposed to sitting on the 405 for like 2 hours?
I mean, traffic really is what broke it for me. The end of LA for me was Halloween 2021 or 22. I'm a very hands-on dad, and I do so much with my kids. And we got invited to this Halloween event at Heritage Square Museum. I remember where it is. You might have to Google it. It's like, I guess it's by like Highland Park or something. And I lived in like Miracle Mile-ish area of LA, but it took me an hour and 45 minutes to get there. And I was like so just angry when I got there. And then the pandemic happened, and I had really young children. I have 3 kids.
Right.
And trying to do homeschooling with a kindergartner was not working. So thankfully, the pandemic got me back into therapy, and I have this wonderful older gay guru mentor who, it's so funny, like sometimes you need somebody else to give you permission to do things that you would not allow yourself to do. Like I kept telling him I wanted to move to Vegas, but giving him all the reasons why I couldn't. And he's like, you can.
Yeah.
And so I did.
That's amazing.
And it was the best
that.
thing. I wish I would have moved here sooner, but I was convinced I'm PEREZ Hilton. I need to stay in LA.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I
We all need
understand
a
that
gay
too.
guru mentor, too.
I know.
Like,
I
who
wish I had
doesn't?
one.
I know.
He's amazing. Dr. Brad, I'll give you his info.
He's in LA or
He
here?
does Zooms. Well, I mean, he does in
Zoom.
person in LA, but I just did Zoom because I'm that busy.
Yeah, I bet.
I bet.
Wait, and before LA, you were in New York, right?
I was in New York for a hot minute. Yeah, I was in New York from 2013 through 2016 because I
That's so
knew that, I don't want to keep moving my kids around.
Yeah.
And I love New York, and I just wanted like one last taste of New York City. And I got it, and it was wonderful. But it's interesting how as we evolve and get older, our tastes and preferences change.
Yeah.
When I lived in New York City, I literally would go see a show 5.5 days a week.
Oh my gosh,
like 5 to 6 shows a week. I would
That's
would
so
see,
fun. That's my dream.
I would see everything that opened on Broadway, off Broadway, But now I go see tons of shows in Vegas, and I love that they're just like 75 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't need to see a 3-hour musical anymore.
So true. So nobody does. Nobody does. I feel like that's the biggest note to all of theater, especially with social media and everybody's attention span. I'm like, and we have a theater company in Chicago called Looking Glass.
I know
and,
it, yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, of course.
And I was always like,
Looking Glass, Stepping Wolf. I know my.
Yeah.
I know
Oh my gosh,
my
you
theater.
do. Yeah. Steppenwolf is amazing too. I did a show there once, and I was like, I couldn't believe I was there. But my point though is like shorter.
Well, that's a new trend. That there have been some shows that have been, one act, no intermission, like. Oh, it ran so shortly. I loved it though. Here Lies Love is a one-act musical from David Byrne about Imelda Marcos that played Broadway. But I saw it 10 years ago when it was at the Public Theater.
Oh my
and
God.
I was obsessed. I love that new trend. It's the trend of not just the one-act musical or show, but also immersive. A lot of shows are being done in the immersive fashion. I went to go see Idina Menzel here at the Smith Center, and she was talking about the Broadway show she's working on called Redwood, I believe. And I think she said that they were doing it immersive style, or very different than your traditional,
cool.
seated type of theatrical experience.
So should we all go?
Yes, for sure.
I mean, I haven't been to New York City in too long. I'm long overdue a trip.
Us too.
Yeah. I mean, you keep begging for a go.
I do. I'm like, I need to be in New York City. I need a trip to New York. I crave it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wish I had taken a few years out of my life to live the New York lifestyle.
You never did?
I did a little bit when you moved there, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna come out there first, get acclimated, and then bring my son out. So I was there for like a couple months, and it wasn't like that did like scratch my itch. But
you two have been together that long?
Oh yeah, we've been together for 13 years.
Oh, wow, amazing.
Yeah, we're
Did you see
common
Pippin
law marriage.
in New York?
With Eric Altimus.
Oh yeah,
and Patina
Yes.
George Miller. Patina something.
Mars.
No.
Miller Mars now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Patina and
Andrea Martin was in it.
Yeah.
So I moved to New York because I was the circus coordinator of that. So I took care of all the like acrobatics in that show, and that's when she came out.
That's one of my dreams. One day I will be on Broadway.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I'm manifesting that.
Yes,
it's a
I
long
love that
game.
for you.
It's a long game. I did an off-Broadway musical called The Musical,
how fun.
which is kind of like Saturday Night Live but with songs.
Fun.
So it's sketches and it's topical, and they're constantly changing it and adding new sketches.
Oh my God, how cool.
And one of my opening number was, I don't remember the lyrics, but the gist of it was, if Rosie O'Donnell could be on Broadway, then so can I.
Yes,
because she
facts.
can't sing,
Right.
And neither can I. But she can
God.
do it. So
I feel like you
hilarious.
could sing. I feel like you could sing.
I could sing as well as Rosie O'Donnell.
No.
I'll say that.
That's going to be the quote.
But that's true. If Rosie O'Donnell could do it, I feel like.
But
Yeah.
I'm just so grateful. Well, first to be here right now and to be in
Oh,
good
thank
health
you.
and to be alive, and I love life. Like,
I love that.
a couple days ago, I was at a dinner here in town talking to this woman who's a Vegas local for decades, and her children were born and raised here, and both of her kids ended up moving to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, God, I have no idea what my future is going to look like, because if all my kids decide they want to move to LA or to New York, well, I'm moving there too.
Yeah, sure.
Literally, I say that on a daily basis. I'm like, Roman, wherever you go, I'm going. I'm selling the house, getting an Airstream. I'm following you. He's like, Mom.
Me too.
I'm like, I'm sorry. That's just the way the cookie
I
crumbles.
mean, I'll probably keep my house here as well and go back and forth, but I'll have a place wherever they're at.
100%. I will not
sure.
be distant.
Your oldest is how old?
11.
11.
Yeah.
Is that 5th or 6th grade?
Sixth grade,
I knew
yeah.
it. I told
Mario,
you middle
right?
school.
His
Yes.
name's Mario and Mia?
Mia and Maite.
Do you remember meeting me?
Yes,
Okay,
yeah, we
'cause
did a slackline.
We
Yes,
did. We did
that's
a
so
little tightrope
fun.
walking. We have a mutual friend, Lee and Ian Armitage, who are amazing.
My former red carpet correspondent.
Oh my God.
Who ended up
Ian.
doing very well for himself.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh. When he was tiny. So you met him when he was
Oh my
tiny?
God, he was 6 years old.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Have you ever seen those videos of him on YouTube?
I feel like I have. Seen a
He's the
few.
cutest. Like he like reviews all of the like great shows,
That's
like
so
Hamilton.
cute.
But the first time I ever met him, I was like, you're not of this time. Like,
Yeah.
You're an old soul.
Yes.
Yes.
And I love that feeling, because it gives me a little hope that maybe reincarnation is real. Because he is not of our time.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
he
I
literally
agree.
is somebody reincarnated.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
Like, he is an old soul.
Yeah,
he
he's
just got
experienced
his
life.
He just got his pilot's license.
How old is he?
16?
Yeah, that's wild.
15, 16?
15, I think. Before he got his driver's license, he got his pilot's license.
Oh, my God.
When I was teaching him to walk the tightrope, he learned in 2 days. He was juggling on the tightrope.
He's a genius.
He
I
really
think
is.
I think he self-taught himself Russian. I'm not even joking. That's what
As you do.
I remember his mom saying something along those lines. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that.
It's
But
wild.
you might be right.
I think I'm right. Yeah, I think he
is-
self-taught himself. Like that's,
It's wild.
you know, I'm not a very intelligent person, but I'm smart
No,
enough.
don't say that.
He's he's like Mensa genius.
Yeah, he's like a savant.
It
Is that
is,
the right
for
word?
sure. Yeah.
It is bizarre. Like he's amazing. His mom is really great too. I remember when she introduced us. This is a little segue, I guess. But I was kind of scared because I was like, you have a reputation of, and it's gone back and forth, right? And like these days, you're like the sweetest man in the world. But before meeting you, I was a little bit scared, and when we were in Absinthe, you actually, and this is neither here nor there, but when we were in Absinthe, Coco and Ice-T came to the show.
Okay.
And they came backstage after, and our publicist took a picture of me and Coco together, and she was obviously dressed really sexy. And you had found the picture, posted, and put a little heart over us. I was in a previous marriage before I got into a huge fight because she was like, "What is this?" with this blonde girl, and I was like, "Thanks, Perez." No, but and then over the years, and when I met you, I was like, "Oh my God!"
Well, this is 2024, and I am done being on my apology tour.
Good
That's
for you.
played the fuck out.
yeah,
for you.
for sure.
You know, am I embarrassed and ashamed of a lot of the things I did in my past? Yes. But I am also proud of a lot of the things that I
Yes.
did in my past.
Sure.
I really was a pioneer.
Yeah.
Fucking Paris. Oh, can we curse here?
Yes.
Oops, sorry.
Yes.
You can bleep it out.
You can say
It's
whatever you
YouTube. Paris Hilton keeps going around claiming she's the original influencer. She's not.
Yeah, wait,
No.
what? The original?
Yeah, she's literally
Goodbye.
given herself that title. Let me clear something up.
Do
Paris
it.
Hilton was born an heiress
Sure.
Yeah.
into the Hilton family. From being an heiress, she chose to become a socialite because not all heiresses want to be socialites.
Right.
Then, after becoming a socialite by choice, she chose to be a TV star.
Mm-hmm.
Her path to success and fame was very linear and traditional.
Mm-hmm.
I owe my entire career to social and non-traditional media.
Right.
Yeah. You
I don't
worked
think
for it.
when I started, that word influencer didn't even exist.
Right.
Right.
It didn't.
I feel like
was
that's
the
fairly new.
first.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day, because it didn't exist. Well, it's changed. It went from being. They used to call me and other people that came after me web celebs, web celeb,
Oh,
which I
that's
kind of
cool.
like.
Yeah, me
web
too.
celeb. That had a cute little ring to it. Then it went from web celeb to internet personality or creator was most recently, or influencer. I don't know. I just like entertainer.
Yeah.
I entertain many different ways, from my website to my podcast. I've written 4 books.
That's
God.
awesome.
I've acted in movies and TV shows and
That's
plays.
Oh my God, I did a little bit of research. He was in The Sopranos. He has a cameo in The
Wait,
Sopranos.
what?
I was
And-
on.
Did I not see that episode?
I-
Because we didn't finish
It was
the last
before
season.
Perez even existed. It was
So-
back when I was still Mario Lavandera.
I
oh
love
my
that
gosh.
name, by the way.
I didn't know that was your last name.
Lavandera.
And my friend directed one of those episodes in season 3, and I was like,
I was
wonder
on
if that
season
was-
3, episode 3.
Oh my
Fortunate
gosh.
Son. That's what it was called.
Okay, we're going back and rewatching
Yeah,
that
for
immediately.
sure.
It had 2 lines.
Oh
I
my God.
remember
That's
them.
amazing.
That is a great legacy to be a part of.
Yeah.
You're robbing a benefit concert. You know that? I don't think I said it. I was trying to think of, you're robbing a benefit concert. You know that? Most people charge it to their student cards.
Oh my God. Wait.
That's amazing.
Was
And
that
it was
the
Michael
episode?
Imperioli. He was in the car.
They rob it, right?
Yeah. Vinny
Yeah.
Del Pino from Doogie Howser, that kid,
Yeah.
that guy.
Howser.
He was also in The Sopranos, and some other guy. Or maybe it was Michael robbing it. I don't remember.
I think they robbed the benefit or
in
something,
the ghost
right?
mask
Yeah.
from Scream.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That's right.
I don't remember
And
that
I
episode.
remember it was like, wow, I have my own little section in a larger trailer.
Yeah.
And
Amazing.
The biggest memory was, wow, the craft serve, the food here,
Yeah.
the catering is so good. They had really good catering on The
I believe
Sopranos.
I bet they were all very large.
Hey.
Not to. They were all.
They were just
That's good,
Italian
right?
men.
That means you're living life well if when you're large. Paris Hilton, if I'm not mistaken, was the original celebrity sex tape. Am I wrong?
No, you are wrong.
Oh,
the original celebrity sex tape was Pamela Anderson.
Oh, you're
before
right.
PEREZ Hilton.
Of course. And that was like the beginning of
Yeah.
like reality TV right there, right? Like,
I mean, the beginning of reality TV, I would say, was, for me at least, and I think so, The Real World
oh yeah.
in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Right. Speaking of that reality show, I think you might have almost been on a show with him because you were almost on Celebrity Big Brother. And you were
Yes.
on
Oh my
it,
God,
right?
you're lucky you didn't do it.
Really?
It was the most traumatic professional experience of my life.
Oh my God.
Oh, share.
I don't
Yeah.
regret it, only because they paid me a ton of money.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But it's funny because they did cast an American girl who actually now lives in Vegas, and we ended up hating each other on that show. But time is a healer, and
Yeah.
now we're friends.
Oh, good.
And I love that. 'Cause
Yeah,
I
that
don't
is
want to have
awesome.
ill will towards
Yeah, for
anybody.
sure.
It was just awful because I truly had never watched that show. I went into it thinking it was like U.S. Big Brother. Totally different.
Really?
Night and day. In the UK, they get off on really torturing the people in that house.
Oh, no.
And it's much more like faker in a way, true. Like the US show is more of a competition
Right.
and the mind game aspect of it, but it's way faker in the UK. And I made a lot of mistakes. Like my biggest mistake was not being fully honest with everybody. I was honest. I didn't lie, but you can be 100% without being 110%.
Right.
Meaning, I didn't want to say, listen, y'all, I'm just doing this for the paycheck.
Yeah.
Like, hello.
Right.
Instead, I said, I think this is a really good opportunity, and I'm excited about this could open doors for me. And no, I was just doing it for the paycheck. Because here's some real tea. Even the way they structured the contract is different than a show here like Dancing with the Stars. Dancing with the Stars does it like you should do it. They give you a base fee, and for every episode you stay on, for every week you remain, you get paid more and more and more. You get all these bonuses.
Oh, cool.
So Celebrity Big Brother, let's say I got paid $10 million. I didn't, right? I'm just giving a random number. If I got voted out first, usually the first person voted out is no earlier than like a week and a half. You get your entire fee.
Wow.
But if you stay till the end, an entire month, you don't make any extra. So I'm like, well, why the
So
hell
what's
am I?
the incentive?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The incentive for some of these really thirsty people was they just wanted to be on TV for as long
Right.
as possible. But I'm like, I had a kid, a young child at home,
Yeah.
and my second was on the way, and
You're like, I got stuff to do.
I wanted to have fun. Like I didn't want to be the first out, but okay, let me be second out
Yeah.
or third. I mean, second or third would have been ideal.
Yeah.
Instead, I ended up staying till the very
Oh
end.
my gosh.
Whoa.
And it was awful. It was just so many things that I never thought. I don't want to make this whole thing about that show, but there was like it was rough. Like everybody went in there with pills, and I didn't take any until halfway through. I was like, shit, I should have brought some pills. I'm not a pill
You're like,
popper.
I understand now.
Now I know. Yeah, I didn't have the light bulb moment until halfway through when. One of the guys, this was back when One Direction was really popular, and one of the guys from One Direction, I think it was Louis, he tweeted, Perez needs to go to the loony bin. And he was right. I was very unwell during that because I was not sleeping at all. Like you're amped up and fighting all day long.
Right.
It's like so impossible to come down from
Yeah.
that. Plus, it's a literal studio. So it's so hot during the day because they have all of the lights on, and then
Yeah.
at night it was freezing. Plus,
shit.
I was underneath a vent.
Oh my God.
I could not shut my brain off. Finally, 2 weeks into it, they have a doctor on set. I was like, I need something to put me to sleep.
Yeah.
And they did. And thank God I was able to sleep the rest of the 2 weeks I was in that house.
my God.
So I did
like
another
torture.
reality show like that in 2020. I did I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here
Oh, yeah.
in Australia. And I took my sleeping meds with me because I learned the hard way.
That's so funny.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Wait,
that
who
sounds like
won
torture.
that?
This wonderful British lady named Katie Price that I think is just so lovely. She's a glamour model.
Oh.
Kind of like Holly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Katie Price that name does sound familiar.
She's an OG reality star and glamour model in the
love
UK.
that.
That's cool. And you, am I not? I did a little research, like I said. You won a cooking show, right? Is that right?
I did. It was a really fun experience. I did a show for the Food Network called America's Worst Cooks Celebrity Edition.
It's amazing.
And
What a great
I was
title.
just so grateful to do it because it was such a cool cast. It was me, Eric Estrada, Vivica Fox,
Oh my God.
Carmen Electra,
Whoa.
Yeah, that is a fun
Carson
cast.
Kressley. a bunch of really Melissa Peterman, a really fun cast, and I got to work with Rachel Ray.
Oh my God.
She was my mentor.
How
And
fun.
some people thought that I was lying. I don't lie. Like, if there's anything about me is that I'm always honest.
Yeah.
I believe it.
I'm not a cook. I think I just know how to. I love to eat, so I think I know what tastes good. And
Yeah.
I've never cooked in my life ever. Like I never cooked. Like all I would do is like assemble things. Like I would never even follow recipes. Like when I was even the most adventurous was like I would get like a George Foreman grill and put some Spam on a piece of chicken and put it in the George Foreman grill, and that's it. That was before I lived in California and there was a Trader Joe's. Then it was all just about like let me buy the pre-made salads from
Frozen,
Trader Joe's
yeah.
and their frozen stuff, and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy.
Easy
Yeah.
Yeah.
and fast. You have kids.
Yeah.
We gotta be.
Yeah.
We're time sensitive.
But I ended up winning that, and it was a lot of fun.
That's
How
so
cool.
fun.
What
I
was
don't
it-
cook now, but
What did you cook to win?
It was a traditional Cuban dish.
Oh.
How awesome. What
Yeah.
was it?
I don't remember. I think it was ropa vieja.
I was going to say Ropa Vieja has my
Yeah.
favorite.
Yeah.
Oh my God. How
It was
cool.
that. And I made churros as well.
What?
I had never made
Yum.
either of those things. Well, here's some more tea. I mean, I don't know if it's a secret, but, before we make it, they teach us how to make it.
Oh.
And we're able to take notes.
Oh yeah.
So I did well in school.
Yeah.
I was a nerd. Like I
Yeah.
did well in school. I was able to go to NYU on a full scholarship.
Oh, that
like
was also my
I'm a
dream.
good student. So I was able to take notes, pay attention, and then execute.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
all right.
You're like, easy.
I
Yeah.
guess I could follow a recipe,
That's amazing.
awesome.
You were at an all-boys Catholic school, is that
Yes,
right?
in
was
Miami.
that? I want to hear about that.
I'm grateful for the experience because, I'm a really hard worker, and that began with my parents and also with the school. They had high expectations for their students, and I love that. I just wish that it would have felt more accepting, tolerant. Like I remember in 11th, I don't want to say it, sorry. In a class, I think I'm having I just had a stitch come out of my mouth.
Oh no. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Is it supposed
Live
to do
on the
that?
air.
I had
folks.
oral surgery earlier this week. A suture or a stitch is what they call
Can we
it.
Is it
get a
supposed to do
close-up
that?
on that, please?
What?
Is it supposed to do that? Are you
Yeah,
okay?
they come out.
Okay.
They come out naturally. I'll leave it.
You're not about to bleed out on
Yeah, just
air,
put
are
it
you?
on.
No.
Oh my gosh, you poor
yeah.
thing.
This teacher, I don't know why they brought it up, but they were like, studies say that 10%, because it was an all-boys school, they said, studies say that 10% of everybody is gay. So that means, 1 out of every 10 of you here is gay. But you're not like all the other boys. I'm like, oh. I was like, yeah,
here
you're
we
right.
go.
Probably more than 10% here. Probably more.
Oh my God! Wait, a teacher said that?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Well, he was
And
at a Catholic school.
The
Yeah.
funniest thing is, I'm pretty sure that teacher was a closeted queer person.
Sure.
I feel like that's
I
usually
know
how
that.
it is.
I mean, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I'm sure the radar is pretty on point.
Oh yeah, yeah. Butch lesbian. hello. Actually, a lot of gay teachers in that school.
I believe it.
Yeah, but none of them could be out. This was back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Going back to something we mentioned earlier, like it was so different. Like it's the older you get, the more you just realize like life is so in the moment. And it's so hard to explain things to people if they didn't experience it.
Yeah.
Because all they know is their experience.
Yeah.
But for me, I remember the first gay anything. It wasn't until the early 90s with The Real World.
Yeah.
I saw Pedro Zamora kiss his partner on the show. And I had never
yeah.
seen two gay guys kiss prior to that.
Right.
And I was like, wow, this is like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why, to me, representation matters and it's very important. And, it's important to be accepting of everybody.
Yes.
Even, not that we want to go there because I know it's a very polarizing thing, but I'm even accepting of people that have different political beliefs than me.
Yeah.
And actually, that's one of the things that I love about Vegas. Like, I think Vegas is very purple. It's both red and blue.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vegas is both red and blue, and I'm purple. Like,
Yeah.
there are things about me that are very liberal, and then there are things about me that are also very
Yes,
conservative. Like,
relatable.
Same.
like the way that I parent. I'm a very conservative parent.
Yeah.
Very
Same.
traditional parent.
Same.
Very hardcore, like discipline, structure, bedtime, consequences, or even things like, I have 2 daughters. I won't let my daughters wear bikinis. Just because I don't want my daughters to grow up to be Kardashians. I want them to grow. And listen, I'm about to compliment that man. I would love my daughter to aspire to be like an Ivanka Trump. Classy, successful, educated, articulate, inspiring. I think
Yeah.
Ivanka Trump is very inspiring.
Oof, this is gonna be a soundbite.
I mean it.
No, I get it.
I don't.
yeah.
I don't stand her dad. But,
Yes, and she's not her dad.
You know, yeah.
Right.
Or
Right.
I would love my daughters to be like an Anna Wintour type.
Yeah.
You know, like a boss babe or
Yes.
successful entrepreneur or whatever they want to be.
Right,
Really,
right.
They don't have to be that, but you know,
Set the bar.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what you're aiming
and
for.
and I think that kind of life trajectory begins at an early age, and
Agreed.
what you expect out of them, and how you treat them, and you're not going out of the house like that, or things like that.
Absolutely
Or like,
not.
even things like, oh, your nails, or we need to cut your nails. Like, you need to present. Like, it sucks, but like, women even more, men too, but women are judged by their appearance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But men too. Is like, I have this conversation all the time. It's like, it's 2024, and one of the least talked about but most discriminated against people are the obese. Like, can you name one network news obese anchor?
Right.
No.
Yeah, no.
Not a single one.
Right.
You know, we are a shallow, superficial
Yes,
world.
sadly
yeah.
we are.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, everybody's on Ozempic. Everyone's doing all the things.
I'm
and-
not, but everybody else is.
Everybody
Are you
is,
on
yeah.
Ozempic?
No, I did it for a little bit.
You did?
I did, and I didn't even need
Why?
to because, like, I feel like I've always struggled with how I look from a young age. Like, I did all the pageants, all the things. Like, I wanted to be the snatched, skinny supermodel. Like, what's her name? I'm gonna completely butcher her name
Kate
now.
Moss.
Kate Moss.
Oh,
like,
God.
I wanted to be Kate Moss. Like, skinny. Like, people. I wanted people to worry
She
about
didn't
me.
eat.
No,
She
that's
just smoked cigarettes
I know.
and did blow,
but
allegedly.
I could, but like allegedly, but I like can't do either of those for some reason. Like I can't.
Good.
I've tried to smoke a cigarette. I'm like can't do it. I have never done blow. Never even tried. I don't have any interest
Wait,
in
can you
that.
talk? Let's talk some tea. Oh,
Oh my God, yeah, please.
Wait, let's talk tea. Oh my
Okay.
God, I got it. I interviewed a while ago. It was like maybe 3 years ago now, before moving to Vegas. Not too long before. I'm sorry. It was during Peep Show. Aubrey O'Day.
Aubrey.
Aubrey had so much shit to talk about Holly and Josh and that whole experience.
Oh my God.
Aubrey even said that they were doing blow backstage.
Cool.
Okay.
Is that true?
No.
okay.
At the time, I was Holly's personal assistant, and like I can attest to the fact that that's not true. Like,
Okay.
Living off of Red Bulls and all the things, I think Holly liked Monsters.
Why the hell would Aubrey say that then?
I think that she had this. I think they were just a lot of hatred because, like, I feel like the hatred was kind of. I'm speaking for myself from what I
Okay.
experienced. Like nobody liked her there.
What did she play? Who was
She
in the
was
show?
Chase's part.
Oh, wow.
So Peep Show was a show that ran here in Vegas.
Yes.
I remember it was at a large theater at Planet Hollywood, right? How many seats was that theater?
I don't even remember, but it was huge.
Is it the theater that Britney did her residency at?
No, that one's at
That's
like
a
Circle Bar.
Okay,
like,
a different theater, but
Yeah.
but it was big. I remember.
Yeah,
it was
it was
a big
pretty
space.
big.
I think it was like 750 seats.
It might be the theater that Chris Angel's
yes,
at
Yes.
now.
currently.
Okay.
Which is also interesting.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
tea's coming.
All right.
Keep it coming.
Fill
No, I
it.
just think it's funny. Like that was Holly's place, and now
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But finish the Aubrey story. Nobody liked her.
Yeah, nobody liked her. Like they would always just be like, she was really hard to work with. She wasn't nice. Like her dogs were. She was just really messy all the time. Like they would talk about how her weave would smell, and like she would tip the valet with change from her car. Like the valet hated her, and I was friends with the valet because I was there every single day. Holly was living in the hotel at the time, so I was friends with literally almost every employee at this point, and just nobody had anything nice to say about her. And so I get the bitterness. Like I feel like it could have been different from both angles. Like maybe had she come on a little less aggressive and like, but I get it. Like Danity Kane was so cool and like That was like such a big thing. She was so
I
awesome.
like Aubrey. I think she's smart. I
don't know her.
I also think, she's been showbiz. She's been showbiz.
Right, at a
showbiz
younger
is
age.
tough. Showbiz is brutal. Showbiz is punishing. Showbiz and the people in it, like Diddy and others.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying anything necessarily happened with him. I mean, it did. Like, I'm sure she's got her stories and she knows, but I view her as a victim in many ways, and her defenses are probably up, and she's a fighter. And I wish her well.
No, absolutely.
I know that she's struggled a lot over the last few years. Like, she had she's talked about it. Like, she had a pill addiction, and
What is she doing now?
you can bleep it out. She's doing.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people that are. And good for her if you can make money doing it.
Yeah.
Like,
We shouldn't bleep it out because it's you just advertise for her. So go for it.
But I don't know if YouTube might not like that.
Oh, right. Yeah. Let's bleep it.
Let's say OF.
OF. She's doing OF.
OF.
Bleep out the first time and then we'll mention OF.
OMFG.
Well,
I'm looking out for you guys.
thank you. Yeah, thank you. We're new to this. Well, back again, I don't really know her. I just know her from like in passing, and she was always like civil. It was never hostile or anything. It was never rude, but just nobody really had anything nice to say about her, which does make me sad. Like, it sucks for her. Maybe she could have had a better experience, or maybe she could have been just like a little bit better in some ways. I don't know. I guess everybody has their own thing.
And before that, how long are you from Vegas or?
Yeah, I'm born and raised
here.
here.
Oh wow, you're born and raised here.
Yeah.
Okay, I want more tea. I'm turning the tables and I'm making this my podcast.
I literally told him, I was like, I feel like we should be prepared to answer questions. He goes, no, he's our guest, and I was like, I feel like it's gonna.
Yeah,
so. You've been here a while.
Yes.
Have you dated any famous fellas?
No.
No?
I haven't.
No?
No.
Are you lying?
No, I
I'm
swear.
pretty famous. Hello.
Just
I'm pretty
Tony.
famous. Hello.
I mean.
Hello.
I'm sorry.
But not when you got together.
Yeah,
Right,
no,
true.
correct.
No, yes, I was.
No, you were
I
not a
was famous.
celebrity.
No, I wasn't a celebrity.
No, I
was-
have not.
no. All right.
I have not dated any famous people. No.
And you're still here. I love it. Vegas, I would have never thought when I first started coming to Vegas in 2004 that 20 years later I'd be living here because it was such a different world.
Yeah.
It was so different. I think things really started to change for Vegas with the Golden Knights.
Yeah.
It really was a game changer for the
Yeah.
city. The Golden Knights and the Raiders came. Then it started to grow and I see the future. Like Vegas really is becoming Hollywood 2.0.
No, absolutely.
Mark Wahlberg is living here.
Yeah.
They're building that huge studio in Summerlin, a multi-billion or at least $1 billion+ project with Mark Wahlberg and Sony. And I'm here for good. Like I'm not unless my kids move in 15 years or so.
And we're following them.
And I'm following them. Like I'm here for good. I see the
love that.
future.
Where do you live in Vegas? Like what area?
I live everywhere.
Good for you. Will you homeschool your kids forever?
No, I'm not anymore,
Oh,
thankfully.
okay.
But I did during the pandemic because
Right.
that's one of the things. Like LA is so leftist. Like God, we were
Yeah.
doing homeschooling forever. I'm like, we need to get our kids back in
Yes,
school.
immediately.
This remote learning is not working.
Nobody's learning.
Or like
And
even
I'm losing my mind.
like in December of 2022, right before moving here, my mom had to have surgery and they wouldn't let me in with her. I'm like, it's December of 2022. I'll wear my mask. You're
Yeah.
not letting me in? Like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Things like that. It's like
Agreed.
whenever there's another pandemic, and there will be, I guarantee, Perez Adamas is one of my nicknames. When the next pandemic happens, half of California will move within a month because they're going to remember what happened during the last pandemic
Yeah.
and they don't want to be stuck
Yeah.
repeating that again.
I feel like
Yeah.
half of California already moved here.
Yeah.
But they'll move either here again or everybody, or not even,
Texas.
everybody will move to Florida.
Oh, yeah.
Florida didn't even shut down.
Yeah, that's true.
It's so true.
It's very true.
Everybody's moving to Florida the next pandemic.
Yeah,
I
that's
believe
so
that.
true.
Where they can do whatever. Yeah. Yeah, that homeschool situation was rough.
Yeah, no, I'm thankful that we're back in school.
Yeah.
We're starting school again. My son went to get a haircut today.
I love
and
that.
So did I.
He starts Monday?
Tuesday.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Your kids are like the fucking cutest kids in the world.
thank you.
Seriously, when we worked with them, I was like, there's something very special about them. I'm not just blowing smoke.
Well-
and then anything that you post when you post fun stuff with them, it's gold.
You know, the
Like, they're
best part
funny.
for me, the best part about being a parent is I've really learned that they're their own individuals, you know, and I have 3, and each one is so different from the other.
Yeah.
Even though they're all being raised in my house with me and my mom, grandma, but they're their own person, and that's my mission in life. It's to help them be the best version of themselves, not whom. I mean, it's difficult because my mom is so old school. She's like, nope, I want you to be a lawyer. I'm like, no, don't tell them that. No.
Is she here?
Yeah, she lives with me.
That's
like,
cool.
That's the stuff she would tell
She's
me.
planting seeds.
Yeah, and then after she's done with that, I say, I don't care what you do, so long as you work very hard at
Yes.
whatever you do. That's
do
the
your
most
best.
important thing. Do your best, but not if you put no energy into it. You have to like work very hard. So
I love that.
Yeah,
we'll
that's
see.
awesome.
We'll
You
see
seem
what
like
they
such
end
a
up
great
doing.
dad. That's so awesome.
Thank you.
You do seem like a great, like I said, when I worked with you that day, I was very surprised. And like I said, like you have, like,
I'm not the
reputation.
best. I mean, like I definitely work too much, but I have to. Like,
No,
I'm
but-
the
I
soul,
get it.
and that eats away at me. Like I have the immense guilt, especially because I work so much and I work from home, so there are no barriers. There's no boundaries. I wish I could just, whenever I'm home, I could just be playing with my kids or in the pool or whatever, but I can't. I have to
Yeah.
still be working, and it's like now I'm live streaming a lot every day because trying to make more money and this and
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
It's
of
like,
course.
but thankfully, you know, weekends we do a lot, and we go
Good.
see a lot of shows, and we explore, and we do everything.
That's awesome.
And or even just like going out to eat, which I used to not do in
Yes.
LA. I would never go out to eat in LA. Here we go out to eat all the time, and
That's so fun.
one of the things I love about Vegas is not just that there's less traffic, but because it's a smaller city and there's less traffic, I say yes to more.
Yeah, yeah.
Like in LA, I was like, oh, it'll take me 45 minutes to get there. It'll take me an hour to get there. Like here, I took my kids to bull riding. I took my kids to see horse jumping.
Oh, that's so
And
fun.
it's all like 15 to 20 minutes away.
Yeah, that's
Right.
cool.
Like that's a game changer. And
Yeah.
there's so like there's I love doing a lot in LA. There is more to do in Vegas than there is in Los Angeles.
I love to hear that because sometimes I'm like, God, we have nothing to do here. we
Well,
are
I'm
really.
such an like anal person. Like I have like a list of activities, and I keep adding to it. I'm like, whenever we don't have anything to do, I'm like, let me look at my list. Oh, we haven't
Oh,
done
I
this
love
yet.
that.
You haven't done that yet.
That's
you don't
great.
do that.
No,
You should
honestly,
start writing
like
a list.
I should start writing a list,
Yeah.
but Roman's 15 now. Like he's at the age where he's like, can I go hang out? Like he would rather hang out with his friends. Like not always, but like if it comes down to,
Yeah.
hey, we're gonna just be chilling at the house and spending time together, or he would rather
He has a
go.
girlfriend too. So
Oh,
he's like,
wow.
"Bye."
15?
Blech. It's the worst.
I don't think I would let that happen. I'm very conservative.
Yeah.
It's just like
It's
there's
hard.
no getting around it. I feel because like I've
There
had to play.
is. I just wouldn't. I will be. I mean, I would let him. I would let him or my daughters have boyfriends or girlfriends at 15, but I'm going to be chaperoning.
Oh,
all
100%.
the time.
This is the thing.
No
is-
hanging out solo.
No,
Yeah.
literally. This is the thing is I feel like when other parents and even kids see me as like, oh, that's Roman's mom, they assume that I'm the mom that's like, oh, she's like younger and she'll let us get away with it. And I'm like the mom that's like, nope, I need a parent's phone number. I want to call, make sure that they will be home. There's not going to like home the whole time. I want to make sure there's a parent present at all time. I want to make sure that there's going to be often hand checks and all the things. Like I'm so strict about that and so just like anal because I'm also paranoid.
Yeah, you have to be.
Everything.
Well, especially like nowadays, it's like God. You hear all these horror stories about everybody dying from fentanyl or whatever.
Dude.
Like, you don't know.
Yeah. And you just have to pray.
Scary.
Like you have to teach your kids.
Like, oh God, this horrific story earlier this year. She stepped down after that, but the former CEO of YouTube, this highly successful woman, her 19 or 20-year-old son died of an overdose.
Oh no.
Wow.
And I was just reminded of that because now she died
Oh no.
at 56 years old.
Did she
so
die?
sad. She died of cancer.
Oh.
But part of me thinks it might have been related to her son's
I
death.
mean,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
That is
Stress
I
and all that.
understand.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's
that
scary.
sounds awful. But yeah, we're also really involved with baseball and sports and all the things. So that I feel like
that.
that takes up a lot of the time too.
Yeah.
I hope my kids get athletic. I mean, I don't have a nanny, so I don't have the time to be taking them to do this, that, and the others.
Yeah.
I'm waiting until they can do everything at school. Mm-hmm. They're not there yet, just because I don't have the time. And I have to wait until my youngest is in 3rd grade. Then she can be part of teams, so then they can all do teams.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
But they play piano, so that's
awesome.
something extra.
That's so cool.
It's another language.
You really are.
I wish I had unlimited resources.
Yeah,
then
sure.
oh my God, if I had like Kardashian money, I'd have a nanny. I'd have my kids doing karate and tennis and this and that.
Absolutely.
I'd have them learning other languages and doing everything. Like I would, because how exciting we get to do this. You have to convince them that it's fun and exciting and cool and not like work.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to bet though your bond with your kids is a lot stronger than the Kardashians with their kids.
1,000,000%.
Because
I've got a good family bond. I'm not going to knock it.
No, I'm not. But I'm just saying you guys are different because you are doing everything with them.
You're very hands-on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and also I think it's like the Latino thing too. It's a very important part. But I still think back on, Caitlyn Jenner says that she was the one that would drive the kids to school for years. Not Chris. And now she's estranged from a lot of them.
Which makes me sad.
Yeah, like this person was driving you to school. That's not a diss.
No, yeah.
This woman was driving you to school for the longest time every day and loved you, and now because of BS drama, they're not in your life anymore.
I know,
like
it makes
lame.
me sad. It makes me really sad for her because I feel like the space between the family members happened pretty instant.
Yeah.
Which makes me so sad. Like, I'm like, hello.
But I feel like, that's why I loved hearing that you said you're going to follow your son wherever he goes. But I feel like there's a big cultural difference. Like it's but it's much more commonly accepted, an American gringo way of thinking that, oh, okay, that person's not supportive. I'm going to cut them out of my life. That person's toxic. I'm going to cut them out of my life. Cubans, I mean, I won't speak for all Latinos, but Cubans don't cut family members out of their lives. Even if, your toxic grandmother. Oh, right, that's my toxic grandmother. I got to put up with her, But they're still in your life.
Right, of course.
Like my mother, tons of flaws, but I love her more than anything in the world,
Yeah, absolutely. You guys are both actually Cuban.
Yeah.
You're Cuban?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. My father was born in Havana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my mom was born in Germany, so I'm a mutt. That's why I'm white.
All right.
Hey, you're pretty white too. Both your parents are Cuban, right?
Both my parents are Cuban, yes.
You're very white, no?
Yeah.
But you do look Cuban, though. You do have a Cuban exotic pizzazz
And
thing.
very blue eyes.
Yeah.
I love that.
But does your mom cook Cuban food for you at
She
home?
doesn't cook. That's why I don't cook. She never
man.
taught me how to cook. She never learned herself how to cook.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. Angel cooks a lot.
No, I do not. He's being sarcastic.
Oh.
I am also the person that just like, I'll microwave a pizza. Like, it's fine. Also, don't have time. Like, what? I gotta be quick. I gotta be...
More tea. What's your take on Britney?
On who?
Britney.
Oh.
She's trying to figure out life, which is hard for a lot of people, for everybody, really. It's hard. And she has a lot of challenges, from her mental health issues to the fact that she is very famous and has been for almost her entire life.
Yeah.
She started working even before the Mickey Mouse Club. She was working professionally before that. Right. She had done Star Search. She had done a play or a musical, either off Broadway, I believe. Like, she had already been working. And when you are like a Justin Bieber or a Britney Spears, like, everything's done for you. You don't have to figure things out. And now, as a 40-plus-year-old woman, she's trying to figure it all out.
Yeah.
And it's sad that she's estranged from so much of her family because she needs family.
Right.
But I just, don't you think that her dad wasn't so wrong, possibly? Like, that's what I got from it. When everybody was like the free Britney thing.
It depends, because if we believe her and everything she said in court, even, like controlling whether she can drink coffee or not, things like let her drink coffee.
Yeah, let her drink coffee, bro.
I think it was too much and went on for too long. But definitely, I believe that at the moment where she was when the conservatorship started, I think it saved her life.
Yeah.
Maybe just a longer leash.
Yeah, I felt really bad for him because as a father myself, I was like, it feels like he's really trying to protect her. It didn't. I mean, again, I'm not on the inside. You never know from the outside. But it felt to me like the whole free Britney thing was like, he was like, well, you guys need to shut up because I'm trying to save my daughter here. And it was like so hard for him to be pushed out. That's just how I felt from it.
I saw this conspiracy video the other day that like, which I don't often get on TikTok, but I feel like every time I do, it's like a conspiracy of some sort. And then I'm like, what? And I'm like, this is why I don't get on TikTok.
What is it?
It was like that Britney Spears reappeared and like all these things. And I'm like, wait, okay. And then
so many people think she's a clone.
Yeah. And then
or
it was like somebody
CGI
else.
or green screen or this or that.
Yeah, with like somebody
oh,
else's
God.
face. And then like all of a sudden she's reappeared and like this is the real Britney. And I'm like, I got to get off. I got to get off this. It's too much for me.
Sometimes when,
I just pray for her.
do you follow her on Instagram, like her dances and stuff? Sometimes I am like, is this crazy or is it genius? Like, is what she's doing?
Well, there's definitely trolling involved.
Right.
Yeah.
Britney knows what she's doing.
Yeah,
Right.
she's
And
not
she
brain
loves
dead.
attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, she loves
That's
attention.
amazing, which I love that.
Yeah.
If you twisted that angle,
I
I'm
almost
like,
feel like, because there's a
But
book
then
coming
I'm
out.
like, I don't know, like dancing with real knives.
with the
like,
knives,
ah.
yeah. It's like, ooh, sis.
Even though she said they were fake, they were no fake. Those are real knives.
Is she have a book coming out?
She did or either early this year or late last year. Her book came out. It did well, and it's being turned into a movie.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, wait, yeah, that's right. Who were they saying to play her? They were just talking about somebody to play her.
A bunch of people being named.
But
Yeah,
then I
that's
was like,
awesome.
yeah, maybe all that crazy was just great advertising,
That's
right?
brilliant.
I mean, with Trump, like sometimes I'm like, is he brilliant or is he lucky? Do you know? Because a lot of the stuff he does,
He's very savvy.
yeah,
Yes.
I wouldn't say he's intelligent, but he's very savvy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
He knows how to work the media
sure, it's wild.
and people.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, he's got that figured out.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, it's kind of amazing. Like we live in a crazy time.
So I have another question. Have you made any new friends here in Vegas that you're like, oh my gosh, we're gonna be friends for life?
Yeah, a lot of friends. I
That's so
love
awesome.
that. You
Yeah.
know, I think people here, well, first of all, I didn't really understand that expression Vegas strong until I moved here. But really, like, you know, for example, at the I was invited by somebody to go to the last night of the Tropicana before it closed. And I love that somebody invited me to hang and get to be a little bit of part of history. And then I turned around and I saw at the pool table all of these, not the big headliners, but the working class magicians. That I've
like
seen all
Murray
their
and all them?
shows.
Yeah.
I've seen all their I'm like, I know all these magicians. And I love that they were all just hanging out, playing pool together.
Yeah.
Like, there's a real sense of community here.
Yeah.
People helping each other.
Yeah, there is.
Even if you work at a competing resort or even if you work at a competing theater company, you know, you're at Cirque du Soleil or you're at Spiegel World, like
Yeah.
it's such a small town. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody's friends with everybody. And even if you're not friends with everybody, you at least try to be civil because
Yeah.
you know that person might end up somewhere else. And
Right.
you don't
This
want to
person
burn
knows this
bridges
person. Yeah.
because it's a small town.
It is. Vegas really
And
is
learned,
so small.
I've learned the hard way, you know, like I've learned for the longest time, the mafia ran Vegas.
I love that.
So that mob mentality still
Yeah,
exists.
for
Yeah.
sure.
And I don't want to be I don't want to be any other creator. I don't want to be any other influencer. You know, there are others in this space that are blacklisted from everywhere. Even if they have a lot of followers. But because of how they share their content,
Name names.
like Vital Vegas, you know,
Oh, okay.
I like him. I've met him. Good guy, Scott. Blacklisted from almost every property, every
Yikes.
place.
Whoa.
I don't need to be doing that. I don't need to be breaking those stories that are going to piss off everybody
Right.
and they're going to get me blacklisted.
Right, no.
Because I said a few minutes ago, I see the future. Vegas is Hollywood 2.0.
Yeah.
And everybody needs to know that I am an ally and a big
Yes.
cheerleader, which
Yeah.
I am. It's like I can separate my day job from my life here.
Right.
Sure.
It's like, all right, you can trust me. If I see some people might think I'm being lame for this, but I don't care. If I'm at a club here or a bar or a restaurant or wherever and I see a celebrity doing blow, I'm not going to report on it.
Right.
Because I don't want to burn bridges with any place here.
I feel like some reporters here should take note of that.
Yeah, that's a good overall.
But I learned that the hard way though, because even things that I didn't think would upset some people, did upset some people. And we don't need to go into specifics now.
No, yeah,
but,
of course.
Yeah, it took a while to really understand that about Vegas. So I happily, though, play this role of just big cheerleader for this city because I love it. I love Vegas. I love the people.
That's great.
And other folks can be the critical, breaking the negative news and all of that. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, me too. Like, I think that, I mean, one of your things.
And that's not to say, sorry, one last thing. Not to say that I'm fake. Like, if I go to a restaurant and I have a bad experience, I just won't post about it.
Right. But you're not going to be like, fuck this place.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. I don't need to trash it either. Some creators will trash it because they also think it gives them cred. And it maybe does, but I'd rather just not post it.
Yeah, it's just not
I
for
also
you.
don't want to be responsible for hurting a business.
Right.
You know?
Because that's a heavy burden to bear. Like, oh, I made this Instagram post and now nobody's going to your business. Like, what if you were just having a bad day that day? Like, I love that for you. I love that you're just like, I'm just not going to report about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I am a great partner, and I think almost everybody that I've worked with, all the publicists, all the hotel people, all the show people, they know that.
Yeah. No, for sure. I love that.
Yeah, I think that's really cool.
And
I feel like
I'm old as fuck now, so I've evolved and matured and grown, and I get it.
Yeah.
I think your kids also probably softened you a little bit too, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
No,
I think that's really cool. I think that
and being tired all the time. I don't have time for petting
to be mean.
drama.
Relatable.
what's your favorite show in town?
Obviously,
Oh, really?
yeah,
Still?
yeah. Just because it's so massive and breathtaking, and a show like that can't tour.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a sit-down production, and I love that. I mean, in a way, the concept or the model has evolved and changed. Like, shows like that aren't as prevalent as they used to. But I do love that, and it's one of the reasons why that one actually still does very well. Anybody from any part of the world can go see O and understand it. There's no dialogue in English.
Yeah.
Like, it's just about the razzle dazzle, the spectacle.
Yeah.
And I love that it's acrobatics and diving and the water and the fire and it's just wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very
I
fantastic.
I love this town. Like, and I love I'm going to see a show tomorrow, like off the strip. Murray the Magician has a new show.
Oh, the Misfits.
And, I love to support not just the big headliners, but also to go see the smaller acts. Like, I've literally seen, I think, almost every single show in Las Vegas.
Awesome.
The tribute shows, I love those.
Yeah,
Those
me
are a
too.
bit of a dying breed, sadly. A lot of the casinos don't want tribute acts anymore, but I love tribute acts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
they can be
sure.
really fun.
Yeah.
Especially if that
one
person's
just
not around.
closed, and I loved it. I went to go see the Spice Girls tribute
yeah.
show. I saw that one twice.
Was it
that
good?
So good.
Yeah, that is fun.
That is fun.
I did see people post about
You know
that.
who supposedly has a fun show? I haven't seen it. In O, the fire guy, the guy that sets himself on fire.
Yeah.
He has a cabaret show here, down. I think it's around Main Street, down in the And he brings on every
A
week.
Cheap Shot, is that place?
Maybe it's something like that. But supposedly it's really fun. They serve. What do they serve? They serve. Oh my God! Someone was just telling me they serve something crazy, like a weird snack while you eat. It's not a hot dog, but supposedly it's a really good show. You should check it out.
Do you know what it's called?
I can't remember.
That's going to be hard to Google.
The fire guy.
Spiegel World is opening their new show soon. I'm excited
the
for that. The
disco
disco show.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, or the awkward.
Are we spilling tea about Spiegel? No, I want Spiegel World.
We don't have any tea about Spiegel World.
We were
just
there for 2 years, right?
You were there for 2 years? I was there for 3.5. Yeah, I don't have any beef or tea with them.
Good. I like their shows.
Yeah, their shows are
fun.
amazing.
I preferred OPM, which just closed. I don't love Absinthe, actually.
Really?
I also prefer the Atomic Saloon show.
The Atomic Saloon looks good.
I like Absinthe. I just that one MC character, the bazillionaire, is so annoying. And I know it's supposed to be, he's supposed to be, but it's too effective. He's too annoying.
Too good.
There's you got to tone it down. Or
read the room.
Or just maybe even it's time for a refresh. Maybe bring a different. If they have a different MC for Absinthe, I'd be all about it. Because I love the show.
Yeah.
That character, though, is, God, you're so annoying. And you're supposed to be
Interesting.
annoying, but you're
Did-
too effective.
Did you see it when it first opened?
Yeah.
So I feel like the original guy, they all just copy him.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why. It's not like I feel like if it was still Vokey, like he probably would be switching it up a little bit.
Yeah, he was amazing. Like, yeah, it's true. That is very true. You know what he did one time? David Copperfield came and saw the show, and he sat in the front row. And he was wearing flip-flops.
Oh, wow.
And he was just laid back in the front row with his feet like... And Vokey, the gazillionaire, was like, oh... He was like, I'm sorry, who wears flip-flops to the theater? And then he goes, oh, I'm sorry. It's David Copperfield, everybody. Let me get this for you. And he like goes down, he grabs it, takes off his flip-flops, and starts giving his big toe head. But for a long time. And we were all like...
We were like this in the back.
We couldn't believe it was going. And Copperfield was laid back, just like dying laughing. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen in live theater. But that was Vokey. Vokey was like, you never knew what he was going to do. Everybody else did like a...
No. Obviously, David Copperfield liked that.
Yeah. Apparently.
Everything we've heard now.
Yeah, what is going on there?
I know.
Wild.
Yeah.
That's happening everywhere, though. Everyone's coming for everybody. What about Penny, like the sidekick, his sidekick with the sock puppets?
She was cute.
That's fun, right?
Yeah.
You just didn't like the Gazillionaire.
Yeah, that character.
Yeah. But the show is good.
Yeah.
And it was like the first one here. It was like very different. Everyone was like, what? This is so great. Like the new
We were only
fresh
supposed to be here
meat.
for 6 months. And
I actually saw a Spiegel World show before Absinthe even. They had a show in New York City.
Yes.
I forgot the name of it. I remember there's a woman that I'm a fan of that's gone on to do a lot of Broadway, Lena Hall.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
She was in...
the Rocket something, right?
I forget what the name. I forget what it was called. Empire? Was it called?
Empire.
Oh, yeah,
Something like
Empire.
that?
That was
yeah.
after us, though.
No, I think I
No.
saw a different one.
They did it here too, but they brought it to New York, Empire.
Yeah, but that was after Absinthe had already opened.
Here, yeah.
Yeah. There was another show. What's the Ross's partner that like wasn't his partner anymore that did the show in New York that we went and saw?
Right. I can't remember.
I don't remember either. But yeah, there was a show before us, and then they moved here.
Yeah, they're fun though. Like I love that they just when we did the High Wire Act in that show, and when I pitched that show, Ross, the producer, was like, "No, it's too small of a tent," and I was like, "That's why it's going to be awesome." I was like, "Let me just deal with everything," and he was like, "All right," and no producer will do that, right? The people will be like, "No, it's too dangerous." He was like, "Let's go for it," and around the year end, the guy that paid the fat guy, he fell, and one of the pole hit
Press night.
The pole hit the guy in the head, the girl in the head, and it was
It was a guy.
It was Caesar's Palace's head of marketing's boyfriend. Ambulance
Like
came.
13 staples.
Oh my god!
Oh my
Oh, yeah, I had
God.
to stop the show, but it was like, and we almost ended up getting fired from the show. But
Yeah, they got suspended for a while, and
Like
then
a
a bunch
month.
of safety wires.
we had to
went up.
come. We had to bring in some people from Cirque du Soleil to like help us like re-rig everything, and then all the suits came and they sat in the front row at like 7 a.m. They were like, "All right, let's see it now." And that act was comedy, and they just sat there with their arms crossed, and we had to do our full-on act with comedy and all, and they didn't laugh or anything. It was so awkward, but they brought us back in the show, and that was crazy.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about Spiegel
good
is
story.
that
Yeah, that's a good story.
they just will go for everything, right? They're like, that's the cool thing. You know?
Yeah, I
They're
like
willing to
that.
take the
I like,
risks.
like OPM was real edgy, but it just the right amount.
Yeah.
Like sexy, sexual, all of that. Like, Vegas needs that.
Yeah. No, I agree.
For sure.
Like one of the shows doesn't get enough buzz, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. There's this show called Rouge at the Strat.
Oh, yes.
Super fun.
I've heard of that.
I really like it.
And then there's another one. I feel like every time I go to talk about it, I can visualize it, but I don't know what it's called. Distill? Not Distill. That's a bar. I feel like it's like something spirits.
Oh, that closed.
I wanted to see that
I know.
so bad.
I love that
We
place.
slept on that.
I love that.
That looked
place,
really cool.
Sadly, Lost Spirits
Lost
Distillery.
Oh,
Spirits.
yeah, Lost Spirits.
There was Distill in it. I'm like, Distill?
Yeah.
There's also, is it the Rouge Room? Is that the one at the Strat?
No, Rouge Room is at Red Rock. But it's just Rouge is the Strat show.
Okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking. And there's like a bunch of red. It's like
Yes.
all red.
Yeah, Rouge. Yeah.
Okay.
God, I love that you came to Vegas and you know
Sexy
everything.
guy girl show,
Yeah.
topless.
Okay,
Oh my
we gotta
God!
see that.
Actually, I don't know if she's still doing it, but like up until at least very recently, this is just bananas. The MC, it was him and his wife. These young kids, like maybe late 20s or mid 20s from Australia. They professional trained clowns and acrobats and all this stuff. And she was fully pregnant,
Oh,
like 6-7 months, doing her acrobatic routine.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Where her husband was flipping her.
oh my gosh. It's risky.
I think so. Oh my God. And then I saw her give an interview where like, yeah, everybody's been so supportive. Fuck that. You're not so supportive. No.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There is a line.
Yeah,
there's a line.
Yeah, no, when the belly's that big, I don't want you doing all those like.
I don't even want you walking up the stairs.
I can't
Bananas.
relate. I can't relate because my mom was pregnant with me in the circus while they were performing.
Was she being flipped around?
We were we were doing a thing called the teeter board, which is like a seesaw. And my mom used to jump down and push my sister, and she would flip and land on my brother's shoulders.
Wow.
And
so you're a circus family.
oh yeah, born and
yeah.
raised. So she was pushing, and then all of a sudden my sister kept going over and going over the pyramid, and everybody was like, "What's going on?" And then they found out my mom was pregnant and she was gaining weight, so her weight was sending my sister further.
That's funny.
So we were on tour, and while we were heading to Chicago, we were in Iowa. My mom's water broke. They dropped us off at the hospital, continued on, did the date. My mom had me. They, on their way back, picked me up, continued down the road. Circus families. So I can't relate to being like, ew, what are you doing on the...
Yeah,
That's
but
what we
like
all do.
I do feel like flipping and stuff is a
Yeah.
lot. Like if you're doing something that's like doing a one action thing, like Olga does her handstands, that to me is bananas. Like even that, I'm like, you fall, like I understand that women know their bodies and their own limits, but like, God forbid her husband flip her too much one day or over, like something could, and I don't know.
I personally think that the girls that work at the nightclubs with pregnant is worse than the acrobats that know what they're doing.
Well, I
and,
feel like that's equally as dangerous.
like all the
in a
smoke
different
and all
way.
the loud
Oh,
noises and
yeah.
stuff. Like a
Oh,
lot of people like
God.
literally working in those nightclubs. Like, yeah, it's crazy.
It's dangerous, yeah, but
So
got to make money.
yeah, I guess so. Got to make money.
Something like that.
Well, Mr. Hilton, we've kept you so long.
This has been
and
so fun. I feel like we could talk for another hour.
I know. I feel like we haven't even gotten to like the good stuff. Like I feel like there was
Can
probably
you come back?
Sure.
Yeah, that'd be great. I
Wait,
feel
tell
like we
us
should
tell
do
us some of the
part
stuff
two.
that you got going. You have a podcast, right?
I have a podcast, the Perez Hilton podcast with Chris Booker. We talk pop culture.
How fun.
No guests,
Okay.
which I love
Yeah.
because booking people is a pain in the butt.
Yes, it
bet.
is.
Especially when you're dealing with celebrities, like
Yeah.
they're either running late or they're going to flake at the last minute, and it's awful. So we do, pop culture, whatever's trending, and nobody does it better. Especially because I love that my co-host and I are very different.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like a yes man. We disagree on a lot. He's this older straight dude, and we see the world in very different ways. But I think that's what makes our show compelling.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
So
cool.
the Perez Hilton podcast, or he's such an asshole. We did a radio tour last week promoting our podcast because we're part of a new podcast network. And I was telling everybody, you can, listen wherever or just go to perezpodcast.com. And he's like, people don't use a browser to go listen to a podcast. I'm like, if they type it into the browser on their phone, it'll redirect them because it's just a fake URL.
Yeah.
PerezPodcast.com redirects people to Apple Podcasts.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
But
Makes sense.
it's just easier. It's just PerezPodcast.com. So,
So that's the easiest way to find your podcast.
or just type in the Perez Hilton podcast. But I figure people are lazy. Like even typing
Yeah.
in the Perez Hilton podcast, just PerezPodcast.com is simpler. But he was like being a jerk about that. Yes, I've got that. I've still got my website, of course. 20 years this year.
That's your
That's
blog?
amazing.
Yeah,
Holy
my
shit.
PerezHilton.com. I'm so grateful that, the website's still my primary source of income.
Wow,
It
that is
still does
amazing.
well and people still read it and it's important. I think especially now that there's actually an oversaturation of celebrity news.
Yeah.
I think it's good for people to know, what? Like I can't keep up with everything.
Right.
So let me just go to PerezHilton.com because
Yeah.
I know all that I will need to read for the day
Reliable
is
source.
there. Yeah, and it's reliable. Like I'm not going to publish things that I know are fake.
Right.
So yeah, 20 years going strong.
That's
Thank
awesome.
God.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I've been doing a lot of acting. I just did General Hospital
That's
in
so
June,
cool.
which was a lot of fun.
Whoa, that's cool.
Yeah, that is
Very
awesome.
stressful because they had so much dialogue.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Over 30 pages of dialogue that I had.
That's
Wow.
amazing.
That's another
It's
good
just
legacy to be
preparing you
part
for
of.
your
General
Broadway.
Hospital? That's a
My
good
second
one.
soap opera that I've done.
What?
I also
So
did The
cool.
Bold and the Beautiful.
Wow.
How
I
cool.
didn't
played
know
a
that was still
priest
on.
that. I played myself on GH, which at first I was a little bummed about because I wanted to play characters.
Yeah.
But this is one of the lessons in life that I've learned. Oftentimes, what you think is a bad thing ends up being a real positive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like they had me playing myself, but as a version of myself, and I had a talk show on General Hospital.
Cool.
Wow, that's
I would
cool.
love to do a real talk show.
I would say this is like, we're manifesting here.
Yeah,
This is
and
prophetic.
they had my logo on the set.
That's
like,
amazing.
On my talk show set. It said, it was me, and then behind me, PerezHilton.com.
That's
like,
amazing.
This is free advertising.
Yeah.
Like, you can't beat
That
this.
is cool.
That is really cool.
So it was good for business, good for my brand. So I'm so grateful for that experience.
Yeah, that's
and
really
I would
cool.
love to do more acting. I'd love to do another show in Vegas, some shows. I don't know. My show, be a part of somebody else's show.
Yeah.
What
Trying
about a
to-
one-man show? That would be
I'm open to that.
That would be awesome. Like with all of your background and stuff, like you got so much material to do a really cool, like I could see that on Broadway
I've
for
got
sure.
one ready to go.
Yeah, really?
I've got a producer and I've got a treatment. I just need the space.
I feel like there's so many spaces.
Oh yeah, come on.
I need the space. I don't have a space yet. I've tried. I've been talking to people. It's hard getting a space.
We'll find you a space.
Yeah, we will find one.
If you find me, I mean, I just need a space. Yeah.
Okay.
That's so cool.
Yeah, let me know. I'm not even joking. You can help produce it too if you find us a space.
We'll find you a
Hell yeah.
space.
Immediately.
I've
so
had
nice.
meetings. It's like, I don't mind. Listen, I don't mind being 100% honest. Like the strip, people were being very snobby. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
we want a workshop. I'm like, I'm not going to spend 6 weeks workshopping something for then you to say no.
Yeah,
Right.
Sure.
Like I'll do a limited engagement. What do you
Yeah.
have to fucking lose?
Yeah, like a
Right.
Especially because like a month or 2 months or 3 months. So at least like I spent 6 weeks getting this show up and running, or 4 weeks, or however long it would take. Like that's my time is fucking precious.
Right.
I don't want to spend 4 weeks or more workshopping something awesome for then people to say no. I mean, they wouldn't, but
Right.
I'm
Right.
too pragmatic and too practical. There's a possibility.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
So I don't want to even risk that, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it sucks because like so many of the properties that own multiple hotels, so many of the companies that own multiple properties, they have empty showrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I'm not going to do a workshop.
Right.
And I've sent them material of me performing. Like here's me on stage. Here's me acting. It's like
Yeah, like what more do you need?
yeah, exactly. And
like-
I sent them the treatment. I've got a treatment. That's a great treatment.
Yeah.
With a
And-
Broadway producer.
Wow.
Yeah, and I feel like your personality enough, like if you know anything about you, like I feel like that should be
I would rock
that alone
it.
is a workshop.
And
like,
I'm such a hard
Yeah.
worker. I'd promote the hell out of it.
yeah, absolutely. You have
But
all
it'll
the
happen
tools.
eventually. It'll happen eventually. Because this is the thing about life, not even just showbiz. Like, people are fickle AF.
Yeah.
Sure.
And things can turn on a dime for the worse or for the better.
Right.
Like, let's say I get a TV show tomorrow. Oh, everybody's going to be up my ass then.
Right.
Oh, I don't want to do a one-man show now. I'm too busy.
Right.
Yeah.
You had the chance last year when I pitched it to you.
Right. Right.
sure.
Yeah. I've been
But
there.
maybe I'll try to do both. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I'm excited about. I'm excited to hear that potential of that because that sounds. Really
I really
fun.
want to do it. I just don't have the space.
Yeah.
I've
Dude,
had
what-
a lot of meetings.
What kind of space are you looking like? Proscenium
Small.
or like?
No, small. Like, I mean,
In the
proscenium
round?
could work. No, either. Any set. I just don't want it to be more than like 200.
Okay.
Do we have any in the round here? Is there a black box here?
Oh yeah. I mean, and even
But I don't want to do something in like the arts district either, you know, because like my audience is going to be the tourists.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to get them to, you know,
What about Saks at Planet Hollywood?
I have actually not met with him
Oh,
yet.
you should. He has a whole bunch of theaters in there.
Yeah, but the problem is my producers had drama with him.
Yeah,
Oh.
he could be.
My producer had drama with
But he's
him.
also a businessman though, so
That's true.
My producer had a show at that theater, and there was like some drama. I don't want to get into it.
yeah, okay.
Um,
Well,
That's
fair
too bad
enough.
because they had a lot
that
of
would have been a
tourists.
good. Yeah, that would have been a good place.
Yeah.
And I don't want to. And I'm a loyal person, so I don't want to do the
Yeah,
show
of
now
course.
without my producer, who's helped me
Sure.
develop it and who's helped. You know,
Of course.
we've done pitch meetings and all.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
I feel like it'll happen eventually.
In the right time, for
yeah,
sure.
that's the thing about Vegas. Like, I still feel like I'm paying my dues. So I'm paying my
Interesting.
dues. You know, I'm laying the groundwork. It's about who you know, how many hands you shake, how many asses you kiss.
It's true.
I'm willing to do all of it.
It's a networking city, for
How
sure.
long have
I
you been
play
here?
by the rules.
I love that.
How long
A
have you
year and a
officially-
half.
Oh wow, God, you're doing good for a year and a half. Like you're really all over the place.
Yeah, I'm excited. You know, I'm in 2 local magazines this month.
That's awesome.
Vegas Vibe and The Town, which is a new one. I'm hosting a party at the M Resort for Labor Day weekend.
Cool.
Tonight, this already have happened, but I'm going to be a judge in a comedy show show
Fun.
downtown.
That's so fun.
Amazing.
I like being busy both with my day job and then like busy in the Vegas of it all.
Yeah.
Because they're very separate
Yeah.
for me. So like I'm working two different angles.
So cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm so excited for you to be here.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm very
honestly.
happy. I love it, and I'm excited for like I've even been trying like. I'm a talker and a sharer. Like, I've even been trying to make a restaurant happen.
That's awesome.
But that's been hard because
Let us
I
come to your
don't
opening
have
day.
I don't have any restaurant experience. And
Well,
I
you
don't,
do though. You have cooking experience.
and I don't want to put any of my own money into it.
Yeah.
But I have a great. I don't just fucking talk. Like I put words into action. Like I have
I can
a
see
fucking
it.
one sheet. I have the name. I have the concept. I have a sample menu. I don't have a budget. That's a bit much. I don't know how to do a restaurant budget with
Right.
a forecast, like
Right.
operating cost. I didn't do that.
You just
But-
need that partner that does that.
Yeah, I need a
Yeah.
partner, and hopefully I'll manifest a show and a restaurant.
Yeah, how
'Cause I
amazing
think
would
both
that
would be
be?
great. Maybe I can do my show at the restaurant.
Yeah.
Like you
Oh, I
can
hadn't
eat
thought of
and then
that
go to
before.
the show.
Yes.
Holy cow.
Dinner and a show.
But I love my restaurant idea because it's special.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's actually, those are my favorite kinds of restaurants where it's more than just the food.
Yeah.
It's experiences.
Right.
And experience you can't get anywhere else.
That's
you can
true.
get great food anywhere, but you're not going to get a special experience at any restaurant.
Yeah.
It's true. Do you know who Rick Bayless is? The Mexican chef?
Don't know who that is.
Anyway, we don't got to go on that.
Maybe you could introduce them and then he could help him.
Yeah.
open his
Yeah, well,
restaurant.
he won Top Chef Masters
Oh,
back in the
okay.
day. He actually the very first Top Chef, it came down to him and Bobby Flay, and Bobby Flay beat him.
Oh, wow.
And then Rick went back and won Top Chef Masters. Then he's a big chef in Chicago. Him and I collaborated on an experience which was circus, dinner, theater.
Fun.
He played the chef in a 1950s Mexican like boarding house.
fun.
The audience would
So
all come
good.
into like all communal tables, but when you entered the theater, the show was already happening. It was like you were staying there the night.
I love
So
that.
when the story happened, the food would come out to the audience, and the actors they were talking about the food. The audience was eating the same food. So yeah,
I love it.
it
One of
was
my
beautiful.
favorite restaurants that closed in Vegas was like that. It was Rose Rabbit Live,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Cosmo.
Spiegel.
No, before it was Spiegel.
Oh.
They were doing that independently.
Oh, I didn't know
They
that.
were doing, or maybe they partnered with Spiegel.
They
World?
did.
Oh, they
would-
did? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Now Spiegel World just took it over and it's Super Frico now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But before it was Super Frico, it was Rose Rabbit Lie, and it was always very special and
Yeah.
an experience. And those are my favorite dining moments. Like, but it doesn't need to be a show. Like,
Right.
I love Jose Andres. That's my favorite restaurant in Vegas, the Bazaar.
I've never been there.
Oh my God, the best.
Okay, noted.
There's no other restaurant that comes close.
Okay, we have to go there and we have to go see
What
Rouge.
casino is that? Is
That's
that?
at Sahara.
Oh, right.
Although rumor is they might be closing.
Oh,
there
no.
And moving to another
Okay,
property.
okay. But should we go
And
there before they close?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And they also just opened a new concept, Bazaar Mar.
Oh, I have seen.
That's a seafood focused restaurant.
Interesting.
And Bazaar Meat is at Sahara. Bazaar Mar is at the shops at Crystals.
You literally know more about Las Vegas than I do.
And he's
I
only been
am
here a
born
year
and
and a
raised
half.
here.
I love it. I love it, and I love doing things.
I
And
know, I love it.
Yeah.
You know what you might want to
very
check out with your
inspiring.
kids is the Circus Center.
I've never heard of that.
It's a new giant building. It's on the Jones and like the 215,
Okay.
and it's this giant
Circus
building.
Center. What do they do there?
They teach all kinds of circus stuff. You can do flying trapeze.
Oh,
They do stuff for
fun.
tiny kids. But they are starting. They just opened up a show there. It's like an immersive thing where you walk through the whole thing, and they like do all these different kind of like entertainment. Yeah,
Oh,
And I
fun.
think
it up.
kids are actually doing it. Like
Yeah.
kids who
Students.
have, students.
yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know
It's
about that.
Very cool. Yeah, it's a giant space, and they do.
Tell
circus
them to hit me up. I'll help get the word out.
That's
Yeah.
a good
I
idea.
hadn't even heard about it.
Yeah, for sure. It's fun. You should bring your kids there. I think it's
I'd
cool.
love to go see the show. Or
Yeah.
maybe next year, like summer camp or something. Is it summer camp?
I think so. I think they do it all.
Oh, okay, cool.
They're
Summer camp would be
huge.
fun.
Yeah. Very
Yeah.
fun. So all your social media is all Perez Hilton, right? And
Well, it's
Instagram.
the Perez Hilton and Perez Hilton, so both. Just because people are like, it's exhausting. Like 20 years
bet.
later, one of the reasons I'm so exhausted is because like I'm one person.
Yeah.
So if I put up if I had to take my kids to school and then go to the doctor or whatever, and a story broke, and if I posted 4 hours later, that's old news.
Yeah.
So that's why I've set up separate accounts. So like if people just care about like up to the minute, the latest breaking, they can follow the website socials, which is at Perez Hilton.
Oh, cool.
And then my personal ones are the Perez Hilton.
Yes.
So it's the website and then me, Perez Hilton and the Perez Hilton.
I love that.
Man, when I was looking at doing my little research, you've done so much shit.
I've been doing this for 20 years now.
But you've done a lot in that 20 years.
I know. I'm so grateful. And one of my biggest inspirations is Joan Rivers. One of the keys to working as long as she did is to just keep working.
Yeah. I can see that too. Like
you just
the
have
Joan
to keep
Rivers thing.
saying yes.
Yeah.
Like, she never judged the work.
Yeah.
Which some people judged her for, meaning all she cared about was the paycheck. If they paid her enough, she'd do whatever.
Yeah.
But that kind of survivor mentality helped her work for decades.
Yeah.
I actually went to her. This is wild. I went to her last stand-up show ever, Freak of Nature Coincidence Chance. She performed at a basement little rinky-dinky theater in Times Square, the Laurie Beachman Theater.
Whoa.
And then a few weeks later, she
Oh,
died.
no.
No way.
Thank God you got to see that. That's so cool.
It wasn't beneath her to play a small little
Right.
theater in the basement on
Which
42nd
I
Street.
love.
She
I
loved
love
performing.
that.
She loved performing. They paid her enough,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and
she wasn't above anything.
exactly.
Yeah.
For a while there, and I think this happens with a lot of people. You know, I became too cool for school. Like I drank the Kool-Aid, and I would turn down a lot of opportunities. Like I actually turned down Celebrity Big Brother when they first approached me, and I actually turned down like Millionaire Matchmaker. I'm like, that's fake. I don't want to do something fake.
Yeah.
Then Joan Rivers died, and it was like a big wake-up moment for me. Joan died right around the same time. I remember it all so vividly. I was living in New York. Joan died, and it was the 10-year anniversary of Perez. So this has been 10 years ago now.
Wow.
More than 10 years ago. Almost 10 years ago, I think. Around 10 years ago. And I just did a lot of reflecting. Like, she died. It's the 10-year anniversary of me doing everything. And I made some changes. I was like, you know what? Let me hit back up the Celebrity Big Brother people, and let me hit up Patty again. Let me say yes to more.
Yeah.
It's like one of the rules of improv.
Yeah.
You say yes and.
Yes and.
Yes and. So it's like there's no small opportunity.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll do this. And how can I turn this thing that might be small into something bigger?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm always approaching things now.
I
That's
love
why,
it.
like, I'll say yes to everything.
I love it.
Like, Australia hits me up. Yes, I'll do your. Even though, like, is that going to lead to anything? Maybe not. But yes, I'll do it. And okay, I can put it on my socials. So
Yeah.
then that
Yeah.
does help me. Like, oh, look at me doing TV in Australia. You
Yeah.
know, like, yes, and, you know, yes, and. That's
Well,
a
thank
motto
you so
that's
much
very
for saying
served me.
yes to us.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Nice segue.
Thank you. I really appreciate you saying yes to us.
Next time you have a little party or whatever, invite me.
Yes. Oh my gosh, absolutely. And I feel like we do need a part 2 of this. I feel like we could keep this going forever.
Yeah.
Like forever. I could
sure.
talk to you for a long
Well,
time.
let's do it in 12 months. We'll do like an annual check-in.
That's a good
Oh,
idea.
man, that's a good idea.
That's a really good idea.
By that time, your show will be like, well,
Hey.
how
We'll be
about
at your
that?
restaurant opening. We'll be at the front row
No,
of your
restaurant
show.
takes a while to launch it well. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want it to like open and flop, you know?
No, of course.
Because that'd be the worst thing.
Of
Like,
course.
No.
I care too much about my idea.
But
I'm
your
just
show, though, you
manifesting
can come
for
on and
you.
promote your show that's going to
Yeah.
be coming out.
Yes.
at-
That would not take as long.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
need the venue.
Yeah.
for sure.
I just need the venue.
Yeah, and a lot of those shows, you just need to get up and running, and then the show kind of takes off and it
Yeah.
evolves, right?
Yeah.
And you need an audience to like see
Yeah.
what works. Yeah.
Luckily, you have a good following already.
Yeah.
You have a
That
built-in
is true.
audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in Vegas, it's like, I'm very honest about myself. Like in LA, I was a straight up D-lister. But here, I'm like on the B list. And I like that.
I wouldn't say that. I
I
would
don't
say
think
you're an
so.
A-lister here.
No
And
way. I'm not on the same level as Mark Wahlberg, okay? He's A-list. And, when Adele's, and there's A-listers that are in, like, even Nicolas Cage, he lives here. He's A-list.
That's
I'm not
true.
on the A-list.
I feel
No,
like when I
but
think of a
but I'm on
local
the B,
I feel
okay?
like you're the local A-list because you're local.
For what
like,
you do, you're on the A list.
Well,
The other people
stop
that
it.
no,
No,
I'm,
it's
I'm
true.
serious. There's other people that do the stuff that you're doing, but you're on a different level. Like I'm not just blowing smoke. That's absolutely true.
Thank
Am I
you.
wrong?
No,
Like,
you're right. And I was going to say it's
Yeah.
such a breath of fresh air to have you here because all the like journalists and all the people that we had here, they're just like, bleh. Like,
It's
and
true.
it's so
Well,
nice
I also
to
think
have
there's
you
an
here.
opportunity because, I knew and socialized with Robin Leach, and he lived here, but he's sadly been dead for a while.
Yeah.
And nobody's really filled that role.
That's true.
That's very
Nobody's
true.
really done it like he did. And I'm not trying to
correct.
do it like he did it, but like I have tons of ideas. Like I would love to do. I'm not precious about things. Like what's meant to be will be, and if it's not meant to be, it won't meant to be. Like, I'd love to host like an Oscars viewing party.
Yeah, that'd be
me
fun.
as the host, and I can do commentary, and we can do like raffles. Like whoever gets the most right wins this and that, and we can have during the commercial breaks, drag performers or acrobatics or whatever.
Yeah, you'd
like,
be great at that.
There's so much that I want to do, and I think eventually I might be able to do a lot of it in Vegas.
I think you absolutely will.
Vegas is a very welcoming town for new ideas and opportunities. It might not be quick. It might not happen right away, but this is one of the things I love about Vegas. If you're not a fucking drug addict or a criminal, a thief, they recognize that, and if you're honest, they recognize that. So I don't have any addiction. Well, I'm a food addict. Thank God that's my problem. Because if I was a drug addict or an alcoholic, Vegas would not be for me.
No.
Yeah.
But like I work hard. I'm honest, and I think I'm a good person.
Absolutely,
No, you are.
100%. This has been wonderful.
Seeing, and like I said before, seeing around you can always tell, like when you see people around their kids, like how they are, and like your heart for your kids says it all. Like you can see it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Which is the most important.
Yeah, we agree. Thank you so much for coming on.
This was so fun. Okay, part 2 in a year, which I feel like I don't want to wait that long, but we'll just set it for a year.
We'll come to the party you're hosting at the, where was it? The party that you're hosting?
At the M Resort.
Yeah, let's go to
Yeah,
the
it'll be fun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is it open for us to just come?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I think so.
Just inviting ourselves.
Labor
I
Day.
thought that's what you were doing.
I forget what day it is, but I have the poster here, but I haven't posted it yet. Let me just make sure.
The M is fun. The M is a fun staycation. Like I like the pool there.
Yeah, the pool there's nice.
It's September 2nd.
Oh, it's coming up.
They even did like a cute little artwork for me.
Oh my God. How cool.
That's amazing.
That is fun. When was that picture taken?
Long ass time ago.
That's amazing.
I have like a website of just promotional images, and they found one of me in a pool.
Amazing.
So
Perfect.
they used it for the pool party. Like I'm not mad. Like it's older, but it doesn't look like I still look like myself.
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
amazing.
It's very studly.
Yeah, very.
All right, let's wrap it
All
up.
right, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much for coming.
PerezPodcast.com. Follow me across social media,
Yes.
and appreciate you both.
Thank you
Appreciate
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.